problem with No Fugazee is that he pretty much said, I'm a top tier guy. This is me. I'm the example. I'm the 6'4" guy. I'm the guy that you should. I'm him. That's his main issue. The fact that he took that point of view, and when you say that like, hey, I'm him, and you should follow me as an example, that's when the problem begins, because that's when people are gonna have to look in your life, and what you're saying has then got to correlate to your life.
Modern day women just don't qualify for the top tier men, and that is the truth.
You believe you're a top tier man? By what standard?
I'm 6'4", only about what? 8% of the entire world is 6'4". I make well over 100K a year, and I'm black at that if you add that on. So just if we're speaking about those figures, the things that women are attracted to, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I'll let you do the math.
At this point, I just have to call a spade a spade. No Fugazee, his whole podcast is pretty much red pill centered kind of content where, you know, a big part of his show, it is roasting single moms. Let's just be real. Let's just be honest about it. And the thing that makes it hypocritical is that he's pretty much roasting them, but then at the same time, he's dating one that had 2 kids prior. And listen, this is no judgment. Whether you date a woman with kids, whether you date a woman with kids, that's your personal preference. And I don't believe that there's a problem with it if that's your particular preference. I just think for this particular situation, it looks bad on him because, well, this is one thing that he did, right? So, and I think that we need to draw a distinction. It's one thing if you're a coach, and there's one thing if you're a player. A lot of times you'll see a coach, right? A coach will be a person that a lot of times will tell a player what not to do, how to be a good player. And sometimes the coach is not even a good player. Sometimes when the coach played, he wasn't even top 5. He was a bench warmer. But at the same time, he's a good coach. He could tell you what to do. There's a clear distinction between people who are coaches and people who are basically saying, hey, look at me as an example. The problem with No Fugazee is that he pretty much said, I'm a top tier guy. This is me. I'm the example. I'm the 6'4" guy. I'm the guy that you should. I'm him. That's his main issue. The fact that he took that point of view, and when you say that like, hey, I'm him, and you should follow me as an example, that's when the problem begins, because that's when people are gonna have to look in your life, and what you're saying has then got to correlate to your life.
All right, look, I think you made good points. So here's what I think. I think personally you can give advice on a topic even if it doesn't necessarily apply to you. So I like your analogy. It was a really good analogy about the coach versus the player, because it's great. It sums it up perfectly. What I'll say is this. For No Fugazee, and personally, I know you always laugh when I say this. I don't watch his podcast, and I really don't. But I did look him up for this particular topic because it went viral. And from what I understand, he tells men who do not have kids not to get with single moms. But he never said that if you have a kid, not to get with a single mom. And apparently, he got with a single mom after he had kids. So there's a caveat there. There's a distinction. Now, if that could be wrong, but if that's the case, then it kind of changes is he a hypocrite? Because he's saying, I'm a top tier man, or whatever he said. I make whatever. I'm black. I'm 6'4", da. But he also had kids. So if he had no kids, it'd be one thing. But anyway, with that being said, I think a lot of RPO channels too, they say certain things to get viewers because it's competitive. You need to. You have to say things that are salacious or super extreme in a sense to get the viewers in. But like a lot of things, you got to take the good with the bad. Take the good, wade through all the BS, and throw it to the side. And so the good message in this, of course, with the RPO spaces, men level up, do the best version of yourself, get your money up, blah, 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 blah. And then you can find the woman that you want. I'm just saying. That's what it's about. And so, okay, I'll say this. And this applies for men and women. I think that if you are a young, successful person, man or woman, you've leveled up in whatever way is the opposite sex, or if you like the same sex, but whatever, you leveled up to get the person you want. Let me be more specific, because we're talking about a video about not dating single moms. So let's say you're a young man and you've leveled up, you're successful, you've done everything you need to do to get yourself to that level that you want to be at, and you have no kids. I don't think there's anything wrong with disqualifying a woman that has kids and saying, I don't want that because I want to create my own personal family. Same with the woman. Vice versa.
I mean, I know a lot of women that say that they don't want to date a guy with kids. So I don't think I don't think most men's moms would tell them to date.
Facts.
Someone like that. So, and vice versa. I don't think most women's dads would tell them to date a guy that has like. No.
So I think it's okay, but again, I think with this case, he's screaming at the top of his lungs, "Don't date women that have kids," but he needs to qualify that. I think, and he may have saying, if you don't have kids, it's okay to disqualify women with kids.
I'll be honest. I think he's trying to slide off of technicalities. If I'm just being real about it, I think the problem is he just marketed himself as, "Hey, I'm that guy.
I'm Himothy."
And once you say that you're that guy, that's when people expect you to really be that guy.
Facts, yeah.
So, I mean, if he didn't say that and he just said, hey, I'm just coaching you. This is what I'm going to do. I'm the coach lane. That's where I'm at. I would be like, okay, well, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Does that mean that I agree with him roasting single moms? No, that does not mean that I agree with him roasting single moms. But if he had a coach perspective, then I would understand it. But like I said, once you market yourself as him and then you want all the attention that comes with him, well, you get the backfire that comes with him.
Like I said, I agree with you like 95%, but or maybe 90 or whatever, because I don't know. Have you watched some of his?
I haven't watched a whole lot of his content. I've watched some bits of the content. I've seen like the fresh and fit kind of style that he's had, and I've seen other viral video.
Okay.
And here's the thing. I don't think that he's completely being disingenuous either. And this is the reason why I say that, is because he pretty much had a channel or IG page with him and his girl on it. And it's like he didn't hide it. Like when he became famous, it didn't just go away. Like it's always been there. So it's not like he just tried to make it disappear, tried to delete it from the internet. Like he didn't do that.
Yeah.
So I don't think that like he's trying to con people or he's trying to lie to people. I'm just saying that for if I was a person and I didn't know any of that and then I just saw that, I would think he's disingenuous. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that he like intentionally was trying to lie to people and stuff like that, because he didn't hide the page.
Yeah.
So ultimately, do I think it's a bad decision? To be honest, I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm not quite sure is because I haven't watched enough of his content yet. So I can't really, like, I don't know. From what I've seen, it just, to me, I don't know. I'm undecided. I'll be honest. Like, I really don't know. Because when you make that kind of like Jerry Springer kind of content where you like bring people in and then like you roast people and do all that kind of stuff, that's a very complicated situation. The reason why it's complicated is because it's not like these girls don't know.
Yeah.
Like I think you really have to be dumb if you think that like the girls who show up on the show, it's like they've never watched it, they've never seen the show, and they just magically are just gonna come on the show. It's like, come on, we have the internet, guys.
Of course, they go on there because there's something for them.
Yeah, so it's like they get something out of it. He gets something out of it. They know. We all, at this point, we all know what a fresh and fit style kind of podcast is going to ask these people. We all know that. I don't know. I don't necessarily think it's necessarily bad for the women either, because they come on there for a reason, and I guarantee you he probably has repeat girls on there. So,
of course, yeah, that wasn't even a question. But I'll say this: if in fact he has told his people that watch him that don't date a single mom unless you already have kids, then he's not a hypocrite, and I don't think that what he did was a bad decision. But if he's saying that you should never, ever, ever date a single mother, period. And again, not saying I agree with this topic or this point of view anyway, but just specifically saying for this topic, if he's saying that you should never, ever date a single mother, ever, period, then yes, he's a hypocrite and it was a bad decision. But if he already had things posted online, I'm quite sure he knew that people might start looking at him. Like, he's not trying to hide it. So that leads me to believe he probably has said it's okay if you have kids, I'm guessing. Because, I mean, he's out there for the public to see he's dating a single mom. Or he married a woman who had kids.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Our decision makers, let us know what you think. Do you think he's a hypocrite? Leave a like, leave a comment. Do you not think he's a hypocrite? He's telling the truth. Leave a like, leave a comment. Our decision makers, don't be a hypocrite.